Hey, what's up with y'all? It's your boy Brandon or KO, and right now, today we are here about to look at this since we are looking at Spider-Man brand new day trailer. We're gonna look at the trailer 2 breakdown by ScreenCrush. Everything that we missed. I like their channel, so we're gonna see what we miss in this joint. It's my new content because I love superheroes, all types of stuff. Like I said in the last, I don't know when that video is coming out, so I can't tell you if you've seen it or not. But basically, I'm just doing more like stuff I usually would do, like reacted to the video. I talk about it anyway, so I might as well just make a video out of it.
There's evidence in this trailer that Sadie Sink is definitely playing Jean Grey,
Oh my
and more
goodness, she
importantly,
is.
the events
I
of this
love
movie
that
seem to be directly
animation
setting up
of
the
that
X-Men.
show.
Now, in the fight, Peter is swinging out of control and smashing through signs while the Scorpion watches. Now, we have already seen lots of the opening
That
montage
looked
where
crazy.
Peter
That
fights
looked like
different
AI,
supervillains
bruh.
over the... These shots, instead of highlighting Peter's emotions, are simply highlighting his loneliness. The mask and his responsibilities as Spider-Man are isolating him from the
That's
rest.
why I like Spider-Man, bro. The thing about Spider-Man is he's like one of the more realistic heroes. He is very realistic. I know people like be like, oh, the boys and Invincibles realistic, which they are, but they gotta realize even in those shows, not everyone that has powers is automatically evil. You're gonna have people like Peter who want to do right as much as they can, and then you can have somebody do right without it being idealized and like everything just goes right for them. Except when it comes to Spider-Man, it specifically Peter Parker, it goes the opposite of right. Like this dude can't catch a break. It's really sad to see him, especially in the comics, how often he just goes through the craziest, saddest, most just unluckiest things. But I guess it's the point is to show who he is, that he still rises from it each time, and to be an inspiration. And honestly, he is an inspiration for me because I've been through a lot of things. And I continue to go through a lot of things, and sometimes I be wanting to give up, but I, for the same reason, he keeps going because I always want to be able to have a positive impact on society, whether that's one person, whether that's 10,000 people, whether that's more than that or less than that. And I just think that the fact that this movie finally shows that Spider-Man is not all sunshine and rainbows, even though the other movies didn't make it seem that way, but it shows how lonely it is when you have to be a superhero like this, where you don't want to get the people that you love hurt, where you don't want to, because he already lost Aunt May. Um, he wants MJ and them to be happy. He doesn't want to add them back into the chaos. He saw how he ended up getting rejected from their school and stuff like that. So it's just really something, and I like that about Peter. How he always stands back up. That's literally the thing with Spider-Man. You know in the Spider-Verse that was what they were saying. They always get back up. So yeah.
Of the world. All we get to see is a single eyeball, which makes him even look a little unsettling
That's what I'm saying. Look like he got a symbiote.
and less human, which of course is a theme of this movie we'll talk about as we go along. And
But
here,
that's why this movie
Spider-Man
looks so
is
tough. It
afraid
feel like it's gonna be like,
and then suddenly he's
wait. So, oh, that's why I like this video because it's helping me think. First of all, I want to say because when I was looking at, no, not this, but I was thinking about Thunderbolts earlier. What I hope that they go in like a direction like that, where that movie was like an allegory and had depression and stuff like that and trauma. I want them to take Spider-Man in this direction. It looks like this movie is going to be like that. If this movie is as good as I think it is, then that will, well, this is not part of the trilogy. This is a new trilogy. So I guess whatever the new trilogy is, we can't even, judge that. But if I could replace Far From Home with this movie, this Spider-Man trilogy is the best one out of all of them. I don't care what you say. I don't care. I don't care. I didn't say it was the best Spider-Man. Now, I don't know who's the best Spider-Man. They all take different parts of the character and make it themselves. If I'm being honest, if I'm being honest in the order, I don't know which one I like more, but I know which one I like the least. And y'all gonna hate me, but Tobey Maguire is my least favorite Spider-Man. I haven't seen that movie in a minute. Sorry, I closed something. I'm definitely gonna rewatch it, but I just don't like him as much. I really like Andrew. He gives off vibes in real life or just when he acts that will feel like Spider-Man to me. Same thing as Tom, but every time I see Toby, everybody's talking about how, oh, he was a Bully Maguire and all of this other stuff, and just the way he acts, bro. It just don't feel like Spider-Man to me. It's just like, what is it? The Man of Steel Superman, Snyder Superman, where I felt like, bro, that's not Superman. That's all that is Batman with a god complex and a cape. Honestly, that Superman has more in common with Homelander than he does with actual Superman, if you think about it. But the Superman that came out last year, I think 2025, right? I love that Superman because that embodied Superman, who he was. Hope, compassion, resilience, strength, and power. He was super, but he was man. That speech that he gave, I'm about to look that up right quick. I gotta put this on for the one time, bro. There.
I'm as human as anyone. I love, I get scared. I wake up every morning, and despite not knowing what to do, I put one foot in front of the other, and I try to make the best choices I can. I screw up all the time, but that is being
I don't
human.
even know why this dude hates him this much.
And that's my greatest strength.
Lex is a loser. That's why I call him Lex Loser.
And someday, I hope, for the sake of the world, you understand that it's yours too.
Oh, that's beautiful. But
That was amazing, bruh. Let me go back to what he said though. Y'all not hearing him. Y'all not hearing him.
Alien! That is where you've always been wrong about me, Lex. I'm as human as anyone. I love, I get scared. I wake up every morning, and despite not knowing what to do, I put one foot in front of the other, and I try to make the best choices I can. I screw up.
I don't want to pause on his head. You heard what he said. He laughs, he cries, he doesn't know what to do. But because he's Superman, because so many people count on him, look up to him, and he has to get up every day to do it, even if he doesn't want to. This is Superman. That's Spider-Man. They are not supposed to be some, I mean, he's godlike. He has godlike power. And people try to say, oh, he got whooped this whole movie. He did get whooped this whole movie. You know who else got whooped their whole entire show? And he's still invincible. Batman got whooped when he first started. Batman still get whooped. And he can, apparently, this is really just, I don't know why we came up with this thing. He can beat literally anybody with prep time, which I understand because I understand where it comes from, but y'all be over exaggerating it. Obviously, he can beat anyone that has an exploitable weakness. He's going to exploit it, but he's not going to beat anyone that has no weakness he can exploit. Let me get that out the way. Back to Superman. This is who he is. Superman is literally the quintessential superhero, meaning he is the superhero that everybody looks to when they make a superhero. He defined every superhero that came after him. And the fact that people rather him identify with being a aura farming superhero, emphasis on the word hero, because I don't think he's a hero, is just ridiculous. And Zack Snyder's done irreparable damage, to the name of Superman. None of y'all, this is LARPing, okay? I don't even use that word, because first of all, using the word LARPing, I don't even think that's what the word is supposed to be used for. So you're LARPing, okay, for one. For two, you can't sit here. I hate when somebody this is what I define as like LARPing. If we're going to use in that definition, it's when someone who pretends to know more about something than they actually do. That's all it is. That's all it is when it's a LARPer. You cannot watch Zack Snyder's Superman and come tell me that this Superman is not Superman. When you're looking at the outlier, the exception, not the rule. You can't talk to me until you've read at least some comics or you've seen other versions of him, because you're not getting the full picture, the full context. That's LARPing, bruh. When they go so hard to tell you, oh, Superman is zesty. Oh, why is he saving a squirrel? Y'all are losers, bro. The humanity has lost so much empathy. I feel like ever since 2020, you just got more apathetic as a group of people, and it's hard, even for me to hold out hope and my empathy. Is my biggest flaw is I hold that my heart on my sleeve, and the world has hurt us so many times. Maybe not even directly, but indirectly. Just what happens in the world hurts me. I even get sad at stuff that happens to people that's not even real. But enough of my big speech. I'm just saying that these two superheroes honestly has inspired me watching this to give me a little bit more strength than than what I've been having for honestly the last 6 years, what I've been going through. And it's gotten worse than ever in the past year. So yeah, I kind of just let that out there on the video. I mean, I doubt anybody's even going to see it because most people don't watch my videos all the way through. That's okay because I'm still going to try because at the end of the day, I love doing this to be able to be on YouTube. I like to be able to say how I feel, and it's therapy for me too. And if any of y'all feel moved by it, whether you like it, whether you are inspired by it, whether even if you hate it, I appreciate everything that you put out because that means I was able to have some sort of effect on someone to make them to feel something. But I prefer that it's positive. Let's get back to the video.
And we get the setup for the plot.
I am totally out of control. I gotta fix whatever it
Oh,
is.
and I forgot, since I went on that little tangent, this is what I was saying. He might go over it, but I immediately thought symbiote in the video because, you know, his eyes is black. Symbiote is a very big thing of Spider-Man. We've gone 3 movies without any mention of it, except Venom hinting towards it. Like, when are they going to introduce a symbiote? So I was wondering if that has a part in it, but it might be more likely that this is just like he's saying his depression and loneliness that's catching up to him. But I don't know why his eyes would look like this because these are not normal eyes. Even if you zoom in on somebody's eye, your eyes are not going to be black like this. It's literally not. Also, you might want to say, oh, where they didn't establish the symbiote at all, really, which they kind of did. I literally just told you about the Venom where he licked Spider-Man, he licked the TV, and then he left the symbiote to go crawl somewhere. So he probably got into Spider-Man. Also, you can say the same thing about the organic webs. I don't even know where the hell that came from. Personally, he was using regular webs for the past 3 movies, so many years in universe, and all of a sudden he just got organic webs. So don't even question it, bro.
Is right now.
This line, along with other clues, hints that Spider-Man
That looks
initiates
disgusting. The way that he's
This
squirted
line,
that
along
out.
with other
Pause.
clues, hints that Spider-Man initiates his mutation throughout the movie, or at least he makes his mutation worse. Now, it's interesting that Peter is so aggressive in this fight. This could
Oh,
be
mutation. Okay, but what is his mutation? That's what I'm saying. I mean, I was thinking a symbiote, but obviously a symbiosis and mutation aren't the same thing. I mean, I guess symbiosis could it's not really a I gotta remember the differences between the different things again. I guess it could be that. But the whole point I was thinking of is that it is true. Whatever he's going through, he's accelerating it by his own depression and his negative feelings that I know personally could lead to a lot of anger, not even just at other people sometimes, but yourself. And the way that he feels about it, I can understand. He just wanted to take it out on everyone. A Spider-Man that stops pulling his punches and stops cracking jokes is a very scary Spider-Man.
his life and becoming more violent.
See, his
This
eyes
also
look
creates an
normal right
interesting
there.
Parallel with 2 of his co-stars,
With Punisher,
Bruce Banner.
and that's ironic too because we have Punisher, which is literally somebody like that where they just been consumed by rage and the negative emotions that while they do heroic things, like I was just talking about Wolverine, y'all didn't see that, but a video was coming up talking about Wolverine is not a hero. Well, I think he's a hero. He saves people. He does things for the greater good, doesn't he? I mean, his methods might not be the best way. Nobody ever said a hero had to be flawless. Nobody's flawless. Nobody could be a hero. If that was the case, only Jesus is a hero. Jesus is a hero, but he's not the only hero. You know why? While he's the only one that can give us life and salvation and everything, we can all be heroes. In fact, he calls us to be heroes when with the way that we treat each other and to look after each other. So I just want to say that a hero's not defined by how flawless they are, whether or not they make mistakes. In my opinion, a hero is anybody that wants to help people and they make it happen. No matter how it happens, because sometimes you got to take the good with the bad. You got to do something bad to get something good. It's like Batman and the Joker. At some point, you're not even good. Are you? I'm not going to say that because it's complex, but at some point, is Batman even doing the right thing by leaving the Joker alive? You might say he's keeping his morality, but every time you leave him alive, you letting somebody else die. Is it worth it? I understand you don't want to take a life, but you're having a hand in so many lives being taken as a result of it. And people say, okay, well, that's not their job. Their job is to catch, not to kill. Okay, so why did Batman stop Red Hood from killing Joker? He could have let him finish his job. There's just so many things to think about, and I just want to say that being a hero, honestly, is much harder than being a villain, because being a villain, you just do whatever you want. Being a hero, so much expected of you, so many people that count on you, look up to you. You got to be the example. You got to lead and feel like you can represent something. So
has been fighting to repress the
we only
violent
3
nature
minutes
of the
in, and
whole,
I probably done
embraced
talk like
violent
40
life as
minutes.
the Punisher. We could see Peter
18
caught
minutes,
between the
man.
push-pull between these two forces throughout the entire film. Notice
Hey,
that
but this
inside
is
the
what I'm
mask,
here
his
for.
eyes
This
have
is my
turned
new,
black,
this is
like
part
they
of my
did later in
content,
the
bro.
prison fight. This is likely
Whoa,
because
I didn't
his
even notice that.
mutation is making him more spider-like and maybe causing him to be more aggressive. And to show how out of control he is, he accidentally flips the Scorpion onto a moving cop car.
Oh yeah, I
Also
didn't even
leads
see. This is why I like this video, because I didn't even register that. Also, he is right. It could, I guess he could just be turning more into a spider, but like, once again, where did that come from? There's more evidence for him having a oh my gosh, I don't stutter this much except when I'm on a video for some reason. There's no evidence of him. Maybe there is, but I feel like there's less evidence of him going through something like that than a Venom symbiote, personally. So while I appreciate his reasoning behind that, like his little interpretation of it, I don't know if I could personally agree with that. Either way, we can all agree on it's making Peter a different person. And the thing is, he also lost the people that was beside him. He lost his aunt, he lost his friends. He doesn't really have anyone to stop him.
This ties in well with the comic book storyline Brand New Day. So in the comics, Peter married Mary Jane in the late 1980s.
Wait,
Their
is this
marriage
the
was mostly
one?
happy, which means that it was harder for writers to create Spider-Man stories. After all,
Exactly.
the guy's
That's what I'm
married to
saying.
a
They gotta
supermodel,
keep him.
So it's really hard for teenage boys to feel sorry for him. So
Oh, I forgot too. They wanted to identify with him. Okay, well, you can feel sorry for him because MJ is a horrible partner. Based on what I've seen, she's gorgeous. She is a supermodel, but why would I want to? Why would I want a devil that looked like an angel, bruh? I'm not even trying to call her a devil because she's not. She's bad, but she's not nowhere near that bad. And I just hope that I wish they would make her a better character because I really don't think this is who she would be in real life. Maybe that's the pretty privilege talking, and I just went against myself, but I don't know.
Marvel made
I think I don't remember if this is the one with
their marriage. J.
I think yeah, that was this where he sold his soul to Mephisto.
If the demon saves Aunt May's life, Peter's marriage.
Oh no,
has to
his
be erased
marriage.
from
I knew it
existence.
was this.
It was honestly a pretty lame retcon, but the MCU partially adapted it in Spider-Man No Way Home. In that movie, Peter, of course,
I
has
really
to
like
erase
that,
himself
too.
from everybody's memory in order to save reality. And from what we've seen, Peter has spent the time since then fully involved in his life as Spider-Man and completely ignoring rebuilding his life as Peter Parker. Oh, person, it's my
True.
lucky day. I just got a text
All right, we
about
gotta
a
skip
huge
this.
sale and all my favorite shoe toys. Well, that's great. Now, in the previous trailer, Peter narrated from the letter that he wrote to MJ at the end of No Way Home, and Marvel released this whole note just a few weeks ago, and part of it reads, "Because I'm not just Peter Parker, I'm Spider-Man, and sometimes Spider-Man has to do the hard thing, even if it breaks Peter Parker's
That's
heart.
what I
Maybe
was
that's
saying.
my responsibility to live alone with the truth." So what
That's what I was getting into. I'm not going yap because I already basically said it, but I want to connect this back to what I said earlier. That's why I like stuff like Invincible and Spider-Man, because it shows that being a hero, even being a hero as well as being a villain. No. Being a hero is not sunshine and rainbows. Even if you're a good character, like, you don't have to portray it that same way because, like I said, you gotta always make the hard decisions. If you're looking out for other people, you don't come before other people. Other people come before you. And I feel that same way too, where I'm willing to give my love and empathy towards everyone else, but when it comes to myself, it's just so much lack of love that I have for myself that I need to find a way to deal with. And it's come from a lot of things. Sometimes I had to do just to help other people, but at the same time, you got to take care of yourself. I can't feel that I'm selfish for sometimes wanting to step back. I don't know why this turned into a therapy session or like me trying to be wise to y'all like I'm Solomon, but like I said, I'm just showing y'all more of me, and this is what I'm feeling right now. So
We're seeing here is
appreciate all of
Spider-Man's
y'all
origin
that's still
slowly
here, because
playing
I
out
know
over the
most this
course of
video
these
is
first
long.
4 movies.
I
Homecoming,
might
Peter
not
was
even get rid of
initially
most
cast
of
to be a
it. So
superhero.
I am so
whoever
far
stuck
beyond my
around this
sleep right now.
long, I really
Then, being
appreciate you.
Spider-Man got in the way of his personal life, first when he was dating the Vulture's daughter, and then when his European vacation was ruined by a supervillain. And then finally, in No Way Home, he experienced the personal loss that defines the character.
And with great power, there must also come great responsibility.
The first
Ooh, I
Raimi
love that
Spider-Man
line.
movie ends with Peter
Hall of Fame
sacrificing
line.
his own happiness for the good of Mary Jane, which is similar to the ending of No Way Home. Remember, at the end of that movie, Peter doesn't give Mary Jane the note because he thinks that she is better off with
They
Hal.
are just such
But
an
in this
amazing
movie,
couple. I
I'm
really
betting
hope that
Sadie
they
Sink's telepathic
really
character
do
will help
last.
MJ remember, and that we end up
And
with an
because
ending like Spider-Man
everyone
2,
wants
where
to see
Peter
a
and
happy
MJ are
fairy tale
together,
ending, and
and
you
Peter
don't see
starts
those
to
in life. And I
prioritize
hope
his
that this is
personal
one
life
of them.
once again. In other
Ew,
words,
y'all
it
are
will be a
actually
brand new
kissing?
day for Peter Parker.
There it is! There it is!
So Peter is narrating as he watches Ned's social video,
Final semester MIT.
which confirms the time jump in the movie. Peter has been
Yeah.
all alone for 4
Damn,
years,
4
focusing
years.
just on his life as Spider-Man. Also,
He did
MJ
say
and
he's
Ned
out
have
of high
MIT
school.
degrees, which means that they can be a lot more useful to Spider-Man's crime-fighting antics. In fact, Peter is using a device later on that I bet was built by Ned.
Yeah, it's kind of like how Bill and Ted went into the future and then came back and knew how to play guitar.
Excellent!
Exactly. High five.
Can't
Now,
wait
when
to
Ned
eat after
says
this.
someone
Trying to
is
figure out what I'm
watching,
about to
MJ
make.
makes this sad comment.
Well, bye, someone.
It's just a brilliant line.
That's what I was
because
trying
it's
to
acknowledging
wonder,
that to
what was
her,
that?
That's who Peter Parker is. He's not her boyfriend.
Like-
He's just someone that she used to know.
But she didn't
But, like,
have to
how
cut
would
him
they
off and
know?
Make it like it never happened.
Actually, she did because of the memory spell. But he
But she
did
doesn't remember
promise to
him.
come find her.
I'm gonna come and find you, and I'll explain everything.
And when finally she does remember, I wonder if she's going to be
He's
angry at
keeping
him
his
for
promise,
not coming to
man.
find her sooner. And then Peter gears up.
That's
I noticed
really
though that
something.
his web shooters aren't just on the outside of his costume.
That's what I'm
they
saying, it's on the
attach
outside.
magnetically. Usually in the comics, they're under his
They're
sleeves,
usually
but they don't
embedded,
bulge
yeah,
out,
on
so
the
they kind
under
of become
sleeve.
functionally invisible, like
That's what I
hammers.
was
I think
saying,
this
'cause it
makes a
doesn't
lot
even
more
make
to the
sense.
movie, because otherwise we would be wondering
But why
how
would-
come we never see his web shooters underneath his sleeves. And then
True.
Peter
This
uses
is the
organic
part.
webbing to accidentally shoot his web across the room.
What the?
So in the comics, Peter always used web shooters, just like we see in
Even
the
in the
MCU.
comics.
But back in the 90s, when James Cameron was developing a Spider-Man film, he wanted to give Peter
I didn't know he
organic
ever
web
made
shooters,
one. Yeah,
which
he was
in
gonna
his
make
excellent
one.
script was part of the metaphor of puberty that we will not discuss further.
Ah, yes, like
What?
silly string. Hilarious.
Okay,
The
well,
Raimi film
just go ahead and
adapted the organic
disregard
webbing, and
that.
rightly, it freaked out Tom Holland in No Way Home.
Like, does it just?
But you know what the thing with organic webbing is? I mean, I guess it's with both. You're gonna run out either way, but at least with shoot, like I said, they had their drawbacks. But organic webbing, it's just gonna all depend on your body at the time and how you feel. Like if he just feels sick one day, he can't even push through it because he's not even gonna be able to shoot webs. But he probably has like backup web shooters or something. Like he probably made some to have with him on backup. Not this Spider-Man. I'm talking about Tobey Maguire one. This one, obviously, he has web shooters. We just saw him. And now he's getting the organic web, so he's going to have both. But I'm just saying, like, when one goes down, he's going to have a backup.
Come out of your
So at
wrists,
least
or
he's
does
covered.
it come out of anywhere else?
And now
That was
Peter
a
has
crazy
suddenly developed
line.
this ability on his own. Now, there could be a few reasons for his sudden mutation. In The Amazing Spider-Man issue 200, Peter tried to cure himself of being Spider-Man and accidentally grew
Why?
more arms. In the animated series, he was exposed to neogenic radiation that caused him to mutate and eventually turn into a giant spider. That arc also featured the X-Men when Peter sought their help.
But I don't want to be a freak.
Which, again, I think this movie is...
That's
set in the
ironic,
Mutant
bro.
Saga, and they could be drawing from that
Yeah,
aspect
it
of the
is.
story.
That's
And by the way,
ironic.
I
Bro
wanna
said he don't
remind
want
you
to be a
guys that if
freak.
you're X-Men
That don't even
fans,
make
we have
sense.
tons
Like,
of
people
X-Men and
be...
Spider-Man parodies.
I had to pause it because I'm not sure that I'm loud enough. I didn't want to pause it because I don't want to drag this out. Let me stop yapping. The thing is, why is X-Men, because they're mutants, they're automatically hated, even though just because they were born with powers, but then you got people that weren't born with powers and they get them from somewhere else. That's okay. That's okay, though. It's just stupid.
Merch at our merch store, including Doug
Let's eat some
pointing
rice
at the
today.
doppelganger.
I
the
love me
Bonesaw
some rice. I haven't
versus
had no
the
rice in a
Human
minute.
Spider, the Remember
Maybe some
It tribute to
potatoes,
Gambit,
man.
X-Men and the Nighthawk Diner. That's
I don't
also
even
a
know.
print you can buy, by the way. And the I'm about to make a name for myself, and many,
make
many
a
more.
name for
Links for these are below.
myself.
Shopping our merch store really does help out our channel.
My voice
And if you become
breaking
a
so
member at
much.
our $5 tier,
I'm not
you
as
get
good as I
50%
used to
off
be.
this.
I don't know why I
Also,
let
Peter
this whole
adding
ad
up
come
to
through.
the idea that Peter is undergoing a mutation in this movie. Now, the idea
True,
that
but
Peter
I don't know where it
mutating could
is,
also be
where it's
setting
coming
up a
from.
key aspect of the
But then again, that is true. It can't be a symbiote, because that's why he has organic webs. He's mutating as a spider. So, you know, spiders web organically. But then the question arises, where is the mutation coming from? Which he's going to explain, and I kind of just stole his thunder. But look, you're not here for him. You're here for me, okay? If you wanted to see what he was talking about, you would just go watch his video, not mine. So
MCU's mutant saga, like Charles Xavier said in the opening narration.
Mutation.
that would be interesting.
It is the key to our evolution.
The last trailer also featured narration from the great Keith David.
And for those spiders who make it through, it amounts to a kind of rebirth.
And a lot of fans have speculated that he is actually playing Miles Warren, the geneticist professor of Peter Parker who became the villain, the Jackal.
The Jackal?
Warren is famous
Okay.
for his work in genetics.
Man,
and
I had a whole book
which
of the
is why
Spider-Man
he'd be a perfect
encyclopedia.
fit in a
That was
movie
tough.
that is about Peter needing help with his mutating DNA. But also notice that in Peter's apartment, we see a chamber behind him that looks a lot like this scanning device we saw in the last trailer. So maybe all of this is Peter's fault. He went to Banner to get advice on suppressing his mutation, but instead he ended up augmenting his mutation.
But I don't know
Very
what he
similar
could have
to
been
what
trying to
happened with the
do.
memory spell in No Way Home.
That little spell that you botched where you wanted everyone to forget that Peter Parker's Spider-Man, it started pulling in everyone who knows Peter Parker's Spider-Man.
You'd actually think he'd know better by now. Now, even though Bruce
I know,
Banner's picture
especially to be
appeared
this
in
smart.
Spider-Man Homecoming, these two have never actually met.
There's an Ant-Man and a Spider-Man?
And this trailer finally reveals more about the role of the Hulk in the movie. A new synopsis was released a few days ago, and it reads, Bruce Banner uses an inhibitor that has kept him in human form since the events of Endgame. This restraint has its limits. The film marks the return of the Hulk in savage form, breaking away from the smart Hulk.
That's what everybody wanted to see. I don't blame him. I don't have a problem with smart Hulk. It's just that why did him being smart mean he had to be a wimp?
Of the film. Now, in case you don't know,
See, that's different from what I was saying about Superman. Hulk is known for being savage. So you even though we know smart Hulk, I haven't read the comics to really tell you for sure. But if somebody knows, let me know if he was wimpy like that too. Like when he was trying to fight, it was like, what was the point of you even being Hulk? Like you wasn't even doing nothing, bro. You might as well just be Banner. That's my Hulk. That's the only issue I had with it. If you're gonna be smart Hulk, be smart and be Hulk. Don't be smart and be Hulk. Don't let that go over your head.
Bruce used to always fight against the Hulk.
I'm exposed like a nerve. It's a nightmare.
But I think that this is a step backward. I agree. I think this is that's a step backward.
Pulled off the snap to bring everybody back,
because
and afterwards his arm was fried. But then in Shang-Chi in the show She-Hulk, he was in human form and wearing.
Oh my goodness, I forgot about her. I didn't really watch She-Hulk like that. I know a lot of people hated it, but surprising, some people I know liked it. I was about to say something else. Her hair is so curly and pretty. But what I was about to say is I do think this is a step backward for the Hulk. I think that ultimately he should have wanted to bridge the consciousness between his Hulk and his Bruce Banner regular self, because it gives him control. But the problem is the way that he did it, he lost his power in the process. So if he just keeps working on it, then he'll be able to be, to me, the best version of the Hulk. See, this is what that's exactly what I was talking about. I obviously I've seen Spider-Man 2. I've seen every Spider-Man movie, but I haven't seen those movies in the longest time. I've seen the Amazing Spider-Man movies more recently than that. But yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. All it takes is one bad moment, and then your powers don't work.
The trailer makes it seem like Peter is talking about himself. Maybe he wants to be rid of his spider powers to avoid the responsibility that he talks to May about a bit later. But it's being piloted by someone who is apparently being mind controlled. And I think that this trailer is trying to trick us into thinking that Sadie Sink is the villain of the movie, when in fact it'll turn out that someone else is manipulating her. I mentioned Miles Warren.
That's what I was about to say. Somebody
and in the
probably.
Comics,
It could have been Madeline. Yeah, Madeline Pryor.
One we can't even see.
He says that Spider-Man seems to be the only person who is immune to her mind control.
You're the only one who's immune to it.
Now, they have not officially revealed who Sadie Sink is playing, but all the secrecy and her red hair have a lot of us speculating that she is playing your mom. Or, if not, she could be playing the X-Man Jean Grey. Marvel Studios
Oh my goodness. I can't deal with that animation.
And they have been
oh my goodness. Like this is just a double hit. I'm not going to speak. I'm just going to let you try to understand what I'm trying to say without me saying it.
Playing your mom. Or, if not, she could be playing the X-Man.
Okay, one,
Marvel Studios
2,
only
that's it.
The film
3, actually.
in 2018, and
that's what I'm gonna say.
Introducing them to their cinematic universe very, very slowly. It seems like they wanted to give the original team a swan song in Avengers Doomsday before reinterpreting the characters with a younger cast for the proper MCU X-Men. Now, the trailer definitely makes it seem like this is where the mind control is emanating from. Like maybe Sadie Sink is
on the
island, or she's being held captive there.
I still don't think that's her that's doing that.
Should note, by the way, that this like hopping from body to body power is the same power of the X-Men villain, the Shadow King. He was also the villain in the
This dude looks crazy. I mean, it's Legion,
so he is inhabiting Jean's body and making her do all of these things. Either way, if Jean is
but damn, the thing that she can be manipulated. Well, this is not like that would make more sense to me because I don't see why she would be acting this way. Obviously, this is not like a final form of Jean because I don't see who can manipulate somebody of this power. Especially someone whose power literally is their mind. So I don't know, bro.
Notice that Peter is able to see a pathway that goes from guest to guest, which leads to the helicopter. I'm thinking that Peter has new tech that can be used to track the energy signature of the mind controller, but it's not as sophisticated or slick as the Stark tech from his previous suits. So I think this tech was actually created by Ned. And then we find out that Ned is obsessed with Spider-Man. This could be because the memory erasure spell didn't fully work on him. No Way Home revealed that Ned does have a touch of a magical gift, so maybe that mind wipe couldn't fully erase his memories. So he's been tracking Spider-Man across the city, trying to work out who he really is. Notice right here, he suspects a parkour prodigy. We also see that he's written notes about Spider-Man's height, noting that he has a Queen's accent. It also says
I'm saying like he can literally see. He could probably be looking at Peter and notice that it's him.
Would have occurred shortly before this when he was popping up in YouTube clips. So he's closing in on Peter Parker. This article also mentions Carlos Rodriguez, who is a low-tier supervillain in the X-Men comics, and he's part of a gang called the Y-Men. Then he's cornered when Ned finds out that he doesn't actually know MJ.
I'm MJ.
You two don't know each other?
Peter probably pretended to know her to break into their housewarming party, and it wouldn't surprise me if they kicked Peter out of the party directly after this. So now he can't even start over and make friends with them all over again.
That's what I'm saying. He could just make friends with them all over
again. Played by Amanis Fondi, who you might know as Ezra from the show Ahsoka. Notice that
I gotta watch
that. We also see a helmet, and I'm wondering if this is part of some gear that Ned is working on in his efforts to track down Spider-Man's secret identity. We then get a quick shot of an off-screen explosion of webs in an alley, showing that Peter is having trouble controlling his new web-slinging abilities. Then we see that the villain is not only mind-controlling people, but is also a telepath who can read Peter's thoughts. They inhabit different bodies and tease him
obviously,
MJ.
but like you can. I'm making myself sound like an idiot.
This is intercut with Peter holding what looks like a tracking device similar to his spider tracers in the comics, which he can attach to enemies and track them down with his spider sense. In this case, I'm betting this device was invented by Ned and MJ. Sony has even used this idea for marketing, releasing a Spidey tracker website that, in universe, was created by its CEO, Ned Leeds. This is also similar to the Sony games, and Miles' friend Genki created the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man app to report crimes. In-game, it's a resource for playing side quests. Like we see later in the trailer, and in this photo released by Empire, Spider-Man does introduce himself to MJ, and maybe he has to enlist her help and technical know-how. In fact, maybe after Peter is awkward at the party, his only chance to be with his friends is when he's dressed up as Spider-Man. Back in the same lab from earlier, Peter creeps in as we see his reflection in this puddle. Notice that the puddle is vibrating like the glasses of water in Jurassic Park, teasing that the Hulk is nearby. This is followed by a shot of Banner's bracelet, now cracked and broken.
Sorry, person, the mob has spoken.
Sadie Sink is in front of the computer monitors that we saw in the first trailer, and then we get this kick-ass moment when the villain speaks through Bruce Banner.
But he might.
This means that Banner was also in this lab, maybe trying to help Spider-Man get control of his abilities or to neutralize them. And then they let out the Savage Hulk. But is the villain mind-controlling the Hulk, or is he finally free of his mental prison that Banner has kept him in for almost a decade? Also Also, he looks more gray, his original color in the comics, which could
That's
be
what I was about to
because
say.
he's
Gray,
being mind
Savage
controlled.
Hulk is
In the
gray.
comics, the Gray Hulk returned in the Incredible Hulk issue
Well, I'm pretty sure.
324 when he had a new gruff attitude and became a bouncer in Vegas. That's part of the great run by Peter David and Todd McFarlane. Hulk does his famous concussion clap, as we saw in the Incredible Hulk movie, and it was also one of my favorite moves in the 2003 Hulk game. So Peter storms into MJ's room.
You're in danger. You just have to trust me.
And then we get to see
Wait,
them
why is
web
she in
slam,
danger,
just like
though?
at the end of Far From Home.
And she's
start of
still
No
in
Way
danger
Home. And here's
even
the
without
thing,
them,
this
knowing
is
each
Peter's
other.
worst
So what
nightmare.
was the
He
point?
decided to stay away from MJ when he saw
That's
the
what
cut
I'm
on her
saying.
forehead. He decided that she and Ned would be safer without him, and as soon as he starts creeping around them again, they're now immediately
Oh, no,
in
no, no.
danger.
He's
So
okay.
he brings
So
her
as
Frank
soon as he
Castle,
comes
who protected
back,
another young girl, Amy, in season 2 of his kick-ass Netflix series. And as we saw in the last trailer, Peter and Frank
gotta
have this
finish
somewhat
watching that.
adversarial relationship
Yeah, I
where
gotta
Peter
finish
probably
Daredevil,
doesn't
too.
approve of his methods. But to protect MJ, Peter needs a killer. And later we do see Mary Jane in Frank's bunker, which is totally off the grid. Note the paper filofax and the analog cassette tape. I should also mention that earlier in the trailer we see that Frank is also unaffected by mind control, which
That's
is how
what I was
Peter knows
saying.
that MJ would be safe with him. And then we see Peter falling, and I think this is a dream. It's maybe what he's dreaming about just before he wakes up in the cocoon that we saw in trailer 1. And then Aunt May starts to narrate.
This whole thing can get really scary by the people who love you because you're you.
Now I wonder if this is a flashback to something she said before, or if Peter is like talking to her memory, like when he spoke to Uncle Ben in Spider-Man 2. In that movie, he was apologizing to Ben for walking away.
I'm just Peter Parker. I'm Spider-Man. No more.
The narration ends with,
No matter how powerful you become,
hinting that as Peter's power mutates, he is growing in strength. But with that greater power comes an even greater responsibility to control and use that power wisely. And then we see that he is talking to her grave, which has the same inscription as May's grave in the PS4 game. When you help someone, you help everyone. And then we go to the prison fight with the Hand.
Who are they?
Well, the Hand is a ninja cult created by Frank Miller in the Daredevil comics. The TLDR is that they worship a mythical beast and they can bring their people back from the dead, but like
Yeah, that's what happened to
themselves or their
Elektra.
former selves. They are in a centuries-long war against a group called the Chaste, who tried to enlist Daredevil in their fight against the Hand. The Hand were the villains in Daredevil Season 2, and rumor has it
Man,
they'll be
this
the
show was
villains
so
in Born
good.
Again Season 3. Now, I think the reason the
dang,
Hand attacked this
it is.
prison, Rikers
It is
Island,
2 seasons of
specifically
that. I'm on
because
season
this is where
3
their
of Daredevil
former enemy
now.
Daredevil is currently incarcerated. The Hand also appeared in one of the Spider-Man Empire covers from a few weeks ago. But remember, there's another
I didn't know he
MCU
was in
connection
jail,
to the
'cause
Hand.
I didn't watch
During
the
the
show.
blip, Hawkeye, dressed as Ronin, went on a killing spree that included wiping out the Yakuza. So maybe Hawkeye's brutal actions, wiping out the Yakuza underworld, left a power vacuum that the Hand were able to fill. I mean, the last time we saw the Hand and the Defenders, they were pretty thoroughly beaten, but then this would explain how they're able to return in this movie in full force. Now, in this trailer, the Hand seem to be presenting Spider-Man with a genuine challenge. Maybe they possess a level of actual fighting skill that he is not used to matching. In one of the Empire stills,
shoot.
Peter has a ninja star in his arm, and notice that we see them
So I'm
whip
thinking
around
about
him and they're able to
Shang-Chi.
actually get behind
He
him.
gonna need to
Maybe
get
the
help
Hand
from
are able
him
to circumvent
so
his
he could
spider
teach him how to
sense the same
fight.
way Daredevil couldn't detect their heartbeats in season 2. But here's the thing, he might not be looking at ninjas. It could be that the Hand are imprisoned to assassinate Matt Murdock. At the end of Daredevil Born Again Season 2, spoiler alert, he said,
Oh,
"If you
shoot,
withdraw,
oh,
take-" And then
shoot.
Sponge
He
home
said
straight 50
spoiler
feet.
alert.
It's obvious that there were more people in the frame, and then we even saw the Lizard take a punch from
Okay.
almost 50 feet in the air. And I gotta tell you, I am flashing back to this shot from the No Way Home trailer when it was obvious that there were more people in the frame, and then we even saw the Lizard take a punch from an invisible foe. Daredevil is definitely in this shot, there is no doubt in my mind. And then Spidey weaves a huge web to catch them all, maybe finally mastering his organic webbing powers. And then we catch the aftermath of a fight with this building collapsing. Notice Peter is falling, followed by the Hulk, trapped in webbing. Peter probably tried to contain the Hulk, but instead, the big guy just shook the whole building loose. And then we end with a comedy button of Peter fighting some damage control officers.
I'm not in high school anymore.
Which is a cool way to acknowledge that we started our journey with Peter Parker in high school with the film Homecoming. But now, he is an older, more experienced Spider-Man. Well guys, that's all the Easter eggs we found, but if you found any, let me know in the comments below or in our free to join Discord server.
That was a good video. You know I love these videos, and it was a coincidence that when I decided to finally watch this trailer, Dave was already dropping his video. So yeah, this video's done. Can't wait for this movie. We got a month and 24 days until it comes out. Wait, I'm tripping. A month and 14 days before it comes out, and then Supergirl comes out the week before that. So that's just the superhero stuff, but it's a lot of other good stuff to come out too. It's glad we're getting another Spider-Man movie. Alright, well, I just want to say that I'm going to get something to eat. If you like the video, subscribe if you want to see more. And I love you, and Jesus love you too. I'm going to see y'all in the next one.